It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Your inner circle is a battlefield, and every friend is either an ally or a concealed threat. Fake friends do not announce themselves with banners or alarms. They move silently, like predators circling a throne, waiting for a moment of distraction. They smile, they agree, they nod, but every gesture may hide intent to undermine you. Recognizing them before they strike is not paranoia, it is strategic survival. Your mind must become a watchtower, scanning for movements that betray hidden agendas. Observation is your first weapon. Every conversation, every meeting, every shared confidence is a reconnaissance mission. The stakes are high. Your reputation, your influence, your freedom to act without compromise all depend on detecting disloyalty early. Most betrayals arrive disguised. The ones closest to you, those you trust with your ideas, your victories, your plans, can become the deadliest adversaries. History demonstrates this repeatedly. Advisors turning against leaders, confidence shifting loyalties in moments of crisis, trusted companions seizing opportunity while your attention is elsewhere. The pattern is consistent. Privilege and proximity provide access, and access is power. Recognize who benefits from your mistakes and who silently celebrates setbacks. Your throne is not maintained through hope or goodwill alone. It demands vigilance even toward those who seem devoted. Trust is conditional, tested through patterns, not declarations. Build your inner intelligence to observe micro-behaviors, subtle shifts in tone, hesitation before responding, eyes that wander when discussing your successes. These are not mere quirks, they are signals that betray intent. Every smile is a mask. Charm and apparent loyalty can conceal motives that threaten your authority. Micro-expressions, fleeting gestures, and inconsistent narratives reveal what words attempt to hide. A fake friend may agree with your decisions while quietly undermining them in conversations you cannot hear. They may feign interest in your well-being while gathering information for personal advantage. The key is to recognize these discrepancies between appearance and action. Analyze consistency. Does their support persist under stress or vanish when it demands risk? Observe reactions to others' achievements. Jealousy often signals future interference. Your power is not diminished by caution, it is protected by it. In meetings or social settings, notice subtle tests. A proposed idea met with delayed enthusiasm, a compliment tinged with condescension, or a question probing your vulnerabilities. Each instance is a tactical reconnaissance opportunity. Respond with calm observation, not immediate confrontation. Neutrality in these moments forces clarity. Ignoring these signs comes at a cost. Every unnoticed micro-movement allows the predator closer to your throne. Ignorance is not innocence. It is a lapse in strategy. Fake friends gain leverage when your attention is elsewhere, shaping narratives, influencing others, or quietly positioning themselves to benefit from your errors. Boundaries are essential. Allocate trust carefully, share selectively, and observe reactions. Do not mistake politeness for loyalty. Do not confuse smiles with alignment. Your position requires selective engagement and deliberate detachment. In one recent disagreement, a colleague attempted subtle manipulation through flattery and insinuation. Calmly acknowledging their point without yielding revealed the lack of foundation in their argument, and they withdrew without escalation. Leadership, when exercised with clarity and composure, exposes deception without generating conflict. Command your throne daily. Scan every interaction with precision. Separate observation from judgment. Act only when patterns emerge. Use silence as armor, patience as a blade, and awareness as a shield. Recognize that loyalty is proven through alignment in actions over time, not words in passing. Make mental notes, establish criteria for trustworthiness, and act decisively when deception is detected. Power is not merely maintained through influence, but defended through clarity of perception. Never let proximity blind you. The closest can be the deadliest if left unchecked. Strength lies in recognition, preparation, and unwavering attention. I see through the masks and remain untouchable. Your mind is a throne, and every thought, every decision, every interaction is a soldier stationed at its walls. Fake friends are assassins in plain sight, testing the defenses of your mental kingdom. If you allow distraction or complacency, they can infiltrate, planting doubts and harvesting opportunities to manipulate or undermine you. Internal intelligence is your first weapon. Observe behaviors, notice inconsistencies, and track patterns in subtle gestures, tones, and choices. Each small detail acts as reconnaissance, revealing intent before it escalates. Mental clarity is not indulgence, it is armor. Guard your focus and discipline your attention to see threats that others might dismiss. Perimeter defense is equally vital. Boundaries are the walls around your throne, delineating where influence ends and intrusion begins. Recognize energy vampires and opportunists before they breach your inner circle. Some seek only access to information, reputation, or resources. Others aim to exploit trust for advantage. A friend who consistently pushes limits, tests reactions, or seeks undue influence is signaling boundaries that must be reinforced. Refuse overexposure. Be deliberate about what you share, where, and with whom. The strength of your inner circle depends on who is allowed past the gates. Cognitive throne rituals sustain your power over time. Daily self-reflection acts as armor against manipulation, allowing you to examine intentions, review interactions, and assess loyalty with precision. Journaling, mental debriefs, or structured reflection moments sharpen discernment and expose patterns before they become threats. These practices are not indulgence, but strategic fortification. They train the mind to differentiate between authentic support and disguised sabotage. In a recent disagreement at work, a colleague attempted subtle persuasion by highlighting imagined errors. You responded calmly, acknowledged the concern, and maintained focus on factual outcomes. The situation dissolved without conflict, and clarity of command remained intact. Command your mental throne by enforcing awareness, boundaries, and disciplined reflection. Observe every interaction, analyze intentions, and act decisively when deception emerges. Maintain calm authority, letting clarity and discernment guide your decisions. The throne is not sustained by hope or friendship alone. It requires constant vigilance and structured practices that prevent encroachment. Protect your focus as if it were the heart of your kingdom. Ensure that every ally contributes to strength, not vulnerability, and that every action preserves sovereignty. Your power depends on what you permit within the walls of your mind, and vigilance is the price of security. I fortify my mind. None breach my throne. The first moments of your day set the tone for the battlefield that surrounds you. Morning is not neutral. It is a strategic opportunity to observe who stands with you and who may exploit inattention. Each interaction acts as reconnaissance, revealing subtle allegiances and hidden agendas. Fake friends move with precision, testing the boundaries of your vigilance while presenting loyalty. Your senses must be alert to the smallest signals, for these early impressions often determine advantage or vulnerability. Approach the day as a commander surveying the field before the engagement begins, aware that even minor oversights can shift power in unexpected ways. Early signals appear in micro-behaviors that may seem inconsequential but carry meaning for those who observe. Avoidance of eye contact, exaggerated agreement, or overzealous flattery can all indicate concealed intentions. These gestures act like probes on the battlefield, testing your reactions and measuring influence. Detect these signs without immediate confrontation. Note patterns over time, for consistency of behavior or inconsistency reveals character. Awareness in these moments allows preemptive positioning, ensuring that potential threats are identified before they escalate. Tests of resolve are another form of early engagement. Small favors, casual requests, or offhand comments can measure loyalty and flexibility. Fake friends often gauge your willingness to accommodate or bend principles, determining the ease with which they might manipulate situations. Respond with deliberate clarity, setting boundaries firmly while remaining composed. In one instance, a colleague requested repeated extensions under the guise of collaboration. You acknowledged the request calmly but maintained your established deadlines, reinforcing authority without confrontation. Such moments reveal intentions without requiring overt conflict. Preemptive strikes do not require aggression. They require calculated assessment. Routine interactions, morning greetings, check-ins, casual conversations serve as opportunities to evaluate alignment. Observe responses to minor challenges or decisions. Hesitation, inconsistency, or subtle undermining signals, attention is needed. Address these observations internally, strengthening mental preparedness and refining your approach. Avoid assuming intent. Instead, accumulate evidence through careful observation. Let awareness guide action. Treat each morning as an initiation into the day's campaign. Position yourself deliberately, observe with precision, and respond with measured authority. Use early signals to fortify defenses, test resolve without concession, and preempt disruption through attentive analysis. Your power grows through disciplined observation and calm command of first impressions. Maintain vigilance, act strategically, and remember that the advantage lies with those who see what others overlook. I control the dawn. I master the field. Stillness is a weapon, and silence is the reconnaissance that reveals hidden intentions. In moments of calm, the movements of others become visible, subtle patterns emerge, and the motives of fake friends are exposed. Reacting too quickly is a vulnerability. Impulsive action hands advantage to those who seek to exploit your attention. Observe first, measure carefully, and let patience dictate the timing of engagement. Like a chess master surveying the board, every piece in motion tells a story, every hesitation signals a weakness, and every expression carries potential intelligence. Your power is preserved through deliberate observation, not through constant agitation. The silent predator waits. Fake friends often test boundaries through subtle provocations, monitoring reactions to measure susceptibility. They may praise superficially, offer unsolicited advice, or display envy disguised as concern. Recognize these behaviors as probes, not casual gestures. Respond, not with immediate confrontation, but with steady presence, letting their intent reveal itself. Each interaction is an opportunity to gather data. Every pause is a shield against unnecessary exposure. Maintain composure and observe what words alone may conceal. The mirror of truth reflects hidden feelings. Observe how individuals react to the success or setbacks of others. Genuine allies celebrate without hesitation, while covert adversaries reveal jealousy, irritation, or subtle undermining. These reflections are invaluable intelligence. Use them to map loyalties and anticipate potential threats. Not every slight is deliberate, but patterns of envy and inconsistency provide actionable insight. Track these reactions across contexts and let the accumulation of evidence guide strategic decisions. Calculated patience allows Full comprehension of the battlefield before committing to action. Delay judgment until the scope of intentions is evident. Acting prematurely risks misreading signals and empowering the manipulator. In one professional disagreement, a colleague attempted to sway a group by exaggerating your missteps. You remained silent, assessed the reactions of others, and responded with factual clarity at the appropriate moment. The situation resolved in your favor without escalation, demonstrating the effectiveness of still observation over impulsive response. Command your presence through observation, not reaction. Treat silence as reconnaissance, patience as armor, and discernment as a weapon. Let every interaction pass through the lens of measured analysis. Collect signals, assess patterns, and act decisively only when clarity emerges. In the theater of loyalty and betrayal, those who master stillness uncover truth, anticipate threats, and preserve authority without unnecessary conflict. I wait, I see, I control the field. When a friend proves false, hesitation can be deadly. Loyalty is the currency of influence, and those who betray devalue your position with every hidden agenda. Ruthless elimination is not cruelty, it is strategic preservation. Remove the threat before it erodes your power, and do so with precision and discretion. Like a general clearing the battlefield of insurgents, act decisively to protect your domain. Delay only invites escalation. Recognize that mercy in these situations often signals weakness, emboldening manipulation and undermining authority. The swift guillotine begins with subtle disengagement. Withdraw support, reduce access to sensitive information, and limit exposure before overt conflict emerges. This prevents unnecessary confrontation while signaling boundaries clearly. Fake friends often test limits to see if tolerance can be exploited. By disengaging quietly yet firmly, you deny them the opportunity to gain leverage. Preserve composure throughout the process, allowing actions to speak louder than words. Detach without drama and maintain operational control over the situation. Controlled retaliation reinforces loyalty by example. In professional or social environments, address disloyalty with measured responses that demonstrate consequences without inciting fear. The objective is not vengeance but deterrence. Establish patterns where betrayal is countered decisively, yet calmly, ensuring observers understand that manipulation carries real repercussions. In one instance, a colleague attempted repeated misrepresentation in group discussions. You responded with factual clarification, highlighting discrepancies without escalation. The outcome reinforced authority and discouraged further misconduct, maintaining clarity and respect. Preserve your reputation while removing toxic allies. The throne is vulnerable not only to betrayal, but to public perception. Cutting ties discreetly prevents scandal and protects your influence. Communicate minimally, act with consistent professionalism, and avoid gossip or public criticism. The power lies in subtlety. Demonstrate authority without theatrics, ensuring the message of boundaries and control is absorbed silently. Your credibility and influence remain intact, sending a clear signal that loyalty is rewarded and deception is addressed efficiently. Command your circle with precision. Recognize false friends early, disengage subtly, act decisively, and protect your reputation at every step. Let calm authority, not dramatics, define your response. Execute each move as though you are clearing a battlefield, ensuring threats are neutralized before they escalate. Protect the throne, preserve influence, and reinforce loyalty through measured, deliberate action. I remove the faults, my power remains unbroken. Authority is projected before a word is spoken, and presence alone can command respect or deter betrayal. Your demeanor is the shield that guards against hidden intentions. Fake friends are less likely to test a sovereign who appears unshakable. Every gesture, every pause, every tone communicates strength or weakness. Control your expression, your posture, and your energy to maintain an aura that inspires caution and commands attention. The throne is not merely occupied, it is embodied in the way you move, speak, and respond. Appear calm, deliberate, and untouchable, and you shape the battlefield before conflict begins. The unreadable face is your first line of defense. Emotions can be weapons in the hands of others, and exposing frustration, surprise, or insecurity grants leverage. Master micro-expressions and maintain composure in challenging situations. Conceal judgment behind calm neutrality. Let your silence speak volumes while keeping intentions opaque. Fake friends test for weakness. By remaining inscrutable, you force them to reveal themselves first, ensuring that initiative remains in your control. Strategic ambiguity reinforces this shield. Do not reveal the full extent of your awareness. Let others underestimate your perception of their motives, creating uncertainty that deters opportunistic behavior. Subtle acknowledgement of suspicious behavior without overt confrontation signals that you are neither naive nor reactive. This ambiguity grants you control over timing, positioning, and response, while encouraging others to act cautiously lest they expose themselves. Weak, I know what you're doing. Strong, I observe, I wait, I act deliberately. Command through presence in both physical and verbal expression. Stand tall, occupy space deliberately, and project confidence in your interactions. Speak with measured cadence, deliberate emphasis, and clarity. In a recent team disagreement, a colleague attempted to assert dominance through interruptive commentary. You maintained eye contact, delivered your response calmly and precisely, and allowed silence to punctuate authority. The situation resolved without escalation, demonstrating that presence and poise communicate power more effectively than volume or aggression. Project authority daily. Maintain composure, leverage ambiguity, and embody sovereignty in posture, tone, and action. Let your presence deter betrayal, channel influence, and preserve control. Fake friends measure strength. Show them none of your vulnerability. Position yourself as the unassailable center of your sphere. Every gesture, every word, every pause fortifies your throne and enforces respect without confrontation. I am calm. I am untouchable. I command. Your instincts are your hidden weapon, and the inner assassin is the extension of your mind that detects disloyalty before it surfaces. Observing patterns, gauging subtle cues, and trusting the silent signals of intuition allow you to discern intent without confrontation. Deception leaves traces in behavior, tone, and consistency. The trained eye recognizes these as early warnings. Like a predator sensing prey through minute shifts in environment, you must attune to the smallest deviations in conduct. Hesitation or over-analysis dulls this edge. Cultivate immediate recognition and decisive assessment. Your mind becomes a battlefield where detection precedes engagement, and readiness is your constant advantage. Behavioral profiling sharpens this instinct. Study patterns of microaggressions, subtle undermining or inconsistencies in words and actions. Fake friends rarely betray overtly at first. They test boundaries through minor deviations that reveal underlying intent. Tracking these behaviors over time allows for predictive awareness, reducing surprises and strengthening your decision-making. Observe, record mentally, and use the accumulated intelligence to anticipate potential risks without creating confrontation. The gut is your weapon. Subconscious processing often detects betrayal before rational thought identifies it. Trust calculated intuition, letting instinct guide attention toward anomalies in behavior, tone, or engagement. Overruling these signals can leave you vulnerable, while disciplined acknowledgement transforms instinct into strategic insight. In one professional scenario, subtle shifts in a colleague's tone and repeated avoidance of transparency signaled possible manipulation. By trusting intuition, you adjusted your engagement approach, neutralizing potential disruption without direct conflict. Silent preemption completes the process. Neutralize threats internally by planning, limiting exposure, and controlling information before addressing them externally. By acting with discretion and foresight, you maintain authority and avoid escalation. Preparation and anticipation allow you to control outcomes without revealing your strategy. Execute measures subtly, ensuring that you remain the decisive force while adversaries are exposed or contained. Train the inner assassin daily. Observe behaviors with precision, trust your subconscious cues, and preempt threats quietly yet decisively. Let instincts guide your vigilance, allowing detection to precede action. In mastering your perception, you convert awareness into control, ensuring that betrayal is recognized early and neutralized efficiently. Your mind becomes the ultimate shield, and your intuition the sharpest blade in preserving loyalty and power. I see the threat. I strike with precision. Envy is a predator that feeds on your success, and the wolf within false friends grows stronger when left unchecked. Recognize it early, for ignoring subtle signals allows manipulation to flourish and positions you as prey. Achievements, influence, and authority attract attention, and not all who appear loyal wish you well. Observe who subtly resents your progress, who measures their worth against yours, and who attempts to destabilize through covert means. Feeding your awareness is as essential as feeding your ambition. Vigilance transforms the predator's advantage into your strategic insight. Resource competition is the first signal. Fake friends often seek to climb by undermining your accomplishments or leveraging your failures. They monitor gains, imitate superficially, or attempt to assert dominance through subtle sabotage. Anticipate these moves by tracking behavioral patterns, assessing intentions, and recognizing attempts to appropriate credit or influence. Maintain control over your achievements and guard access to your resources, ensuring that manipulation cannot gain traction. Awareness is a shield, preventing the covert wolf from converting envy into action. Emotional manipulation is the second front. Guilt traps, passive aggression, and emotional extortion are tools used to destabilize your judgment. Recognize these tactics as indicators of disloyalty, not as burdens to your conscience. Respond with measured detachment, setting boundaries without confrontation. For instance, a colleague attempted to invoke guilt by exaggerating their contribution to a joint project. By calmly acknowledging their perspective while maintaining factual clarity, you neutralize the attempt without escalation, demonstrating authority and control. Weak. You shouldn't feel that way. Strong. I acknowledge your concern and proceed deliberately. Redirect the predator through preemptive action. Anticipate exploitation and act decisively to protect your position. Confrontation is not always necessary. Sometimes strategic distancing, selective sharing, or controlled exposure achieves the same effect while preserving authority. Position yourself as the calculated center of influence, where the wolf's attacks meet prepared defense rather than reactive vulnerability. Every interaction becomes a calculated test of loyalty, revealing intentions while maintaining your dominance. Feed your awareness daily. Detect envy early. Interpret manipulative behavior accurately and respond strategically. By transforming observation into action, you control the battlefield of relationships, neutralizing threats before they escalate. Let vigilance and decisiveness define your circle, ensuring that those who seek to destabilize are anticipated and contained. Authority is preserved not through intimidation, but through understanding, anticipation, and strategic response. I see the envy, I redirect the attack, I remain unbroken. Life is a chessboard, and every relationship, interaction, and alliance is a piece with potential to advance or threaten your position. Anticipating moves before they occur is not optional. It is essential for preserving power and influence. Fake friends are often pawns in subtle games, advancing hidden agendas under the guise of loyalty. To remain uncornered, you must survey the board constantly, recognize potential threats, and position yourself strategically to maintain control and initiative. Awareness transforms reactive vulnerability into proactive dominance, and foresight becomes your sharpest weapon. Predictive strategy is the foundation. Map each connection, noting tendencies, ambitions, and behavioral patterns. Like a chess master envisioning multiple moves ahead, forecast the intentions of those around you. Observe shifts in tone, micro-behaviors, and repeated patterns. These are the telltale signs of latent betrayal. Document interactions, mentally identify which allies might serve your strategy and which may disrupt it. Every encounter becomes an opportunity to assess positional strength and anticipate maneuvers, ensuring you remain steps ahead in every relational engagement. Sacrifice versus gain is the second principle. Not every battle warrants confrontation. Evaluate the cost of engagement against potential advantage. Preserve resources, energy, and focus for strategic victories that reinforce your authority and long-term positioning. Let minor slights or inconsequential manipulations pass when the stakes are low, but strike decisively when betrayal threatens your power. Calculated restraint demonstrates discipline, signals mastery, and preserves your credibility, ensuring that enemies cannot exploit impulsive reactions. The Queen's reach represents influence and subtle protection. Expand your impact through alliances, mentorship, and careful reputation management. Establish networks that strengthen your position without provoking overt conflict. Subtlety and measured engagement allow your authority to radiate while minimizing exposure to covert threats. Like a chess queen controlling multiple vectors, extend presence and influence across domains, ensuring that those who might seek to destabilize find their access limited and their actions anticipated. In one professional scenario, a colleague attempted to sway mutual contacts to undermine a shared project. By strengthening relationships with key collaborators and maintaining transparency, you neutralized the threat without confrontation. Weak. Stop speaking about the project. Strong. I value transparency. Let's align publicly. Master the chessboard daily. Anticipate moves. Assess positional strength and act strategically rather than reactively. Transform observation into command, ensuring that every piece, ally, and potential adversary is positioned to preserve your power. Awareness, calculation, and controlled action convert a complex battlefield into a controlled environment where loyalty is reinforced and betrayal becomes detectable before it can strike. I see the board, I control the moves, I remain unassailable. Discipline is the armor that shields a sovereign from covert attacks, and the weapon that secures influence over every encounter. An iron will transforms vulnerability into calculated strength, turning adversity into opportunity. To survive in a world where hidden betrayal lurks, you must condition your mind daily, fortify your emotions, and embrace resilience as ritual. The battlefield is not only external, it exists within, where control of thought and reaction determines your supremacy. Daily conditioning sharpens your mental reflexes. Begin each morning with deliberate exercises. Visualize challenges, anticipate deception, and rehearse composed responses. Treat every interaction as a strategic drill, where observation, evaluation, and measured response are your drills of war. Mental repetition reinforces clarity and reduces susceptibility to emotional manipulation. Weak, reacting impulsively. Strong, pausing, assessing, and executing with precision. Document patterns in behavior you observe, noting inconsistencies and subtle cues of manipulation. By doing so, your mind becomes a disciplined weapon, capable of discerning intent before words are spoken. Emotional fortification is your secondary layer. Vulnerability is not weakness when converted into controlled power. Accept the inevitability of disappointment or betrayal without surrendering your composure. Transform the sting of envy, passive aggression, or covert undermining into fuel for vigilance. Every emotional reaction is a signal. Interpret it, learn, and retain control. When a colleague attempted to provoke anxiety over a team decision, you maintained calm, reaffirmed boundaries, and redirected focus without escalation. Weak, I can't handle this. Strong, I see the attempt, I remain focused. Each encounter strengthens the shield around your authority. Resilience training is your ultimate discipline. Understand that even allies may falter, and betrayal is a constant possibility. Accepting this reality allows preparation without paranoia. Establish routines that reinforce endurance, reflective journaling, scenario planning, and mindfulness of your priorities. Let setbacks become lessons rather than wounds. Let criticism refine strategy rather than diminish power. Like a general who anticipates enemy offensives, anticipate personal challenges with mental readiness, allowing swift, composed action when threats arise. Your presence, steadfast and unshaken, becomes a deterrent to manipulation and a signal of enduring strength. Forge these rituals into habit. Build an iron will that perceives threats before they manifest, controls responses with precision, and absorbs setbacks without fracture. Discipline is both shield and weapon, enabling dominance over circumstance, environment, and relational currents. I am unwavering. My discipline is my dominion. I remain untouchable. Authority is not claimed. It is earned through consistent mastery, presence, and unshakable discipline. Your throne is not a chair. It is the space you command, the aura that precedes your words, and the reputation that shields you from covert attacks. Fake friends are drawn to weakness and uncertainty, but when you embody reliability, competence, and quiet dominance, their schemes falter before they begin. Every action, gesture, and decision becomes a testament to your invincibility, leaving no gap for opportunists to exploit.
Build an invincible reputation through unwavering consistency. Boundaries are your walls, awareness your sentries. Stand firm in decisions, maintain composure under scrutiny, and communicate strength through every interaction. Weak, vacillating under pressure. Strong, deliberate, measured, and authoritative. Each consistent choice reinforces the perception of power, making deception and manipulation less feasible. Document your commitments, follow through rigorously, and ensure that your behavior aligns with the authority you wish to project. Reputation is the armor that allows your throne to remain untouchable. Without it, influence is fragile and easily contested.
Influence through action surpasses empty words. Lead by example in every arena. Work ethic, integrity, and strategic thinking are more persuasive than verbal declarations. When a team member attempted to manipulate a project outcome, you responded not with confrontation, but with exemplary execution and clear standards. Weak, confrontational explanations. Strong, decisive, action-driven demonstration. Your conduct models behavior, commands respect, and exposes duplicity without direct accusation. Actions are the language of power. Mastery is conveyed through doing, not speaking. Harness the magnetism of mastery. Skill, composure, and self-assured presence naturally repel opportunists and attract loyalty. Authority radiates like gravity. Those aligned with competence are drawn closer, while those with hidden agendas retreat. Expand influence subtly, observing the landscape, adjusting positioning, and demonstrating capability in ways that make interference futile. Visibility combined with controlled discretion ensures you remain central, respected, and untouchable. Subtlety prevents backlash, while omnipresent competence secures allegiance. To become untouchable, integrate these practices into your daily existence. Consistency builds reputation, action consolidates influence, and mastery generates natural authority. Your presence alone signals strength, leaving no opportunity for betrayal. When executed with discipline, these principles create a sphere around you impervious to manipulation, envy, and covert attacks. I exist. I act. My authority is undeniable. All power begins with awareness. The sovereign sees what others cannot. You are no longer a participant in the petty skirmishes of daily life. You are the apex predator, surveying the terrain, measuring intentions, and anticipating threats before they manifest. Every sense, every intuition, every calculated observation converges into a weapon that is both silent and devastating. Your mind is a command center, your perception a network of sentries, and your patience a strategy that turns hesitation into victory. Integrated awareness is your foundation. Observe patterns in behavior, track inconsistencies, and recognize subtle shifts in loyalty. Weak signals often reveal the deepest intentions. A fleeting glance, a change in tone, or disproportionate enthusiasm at another's success can indicate hidden agendas. Trust in your internal synthesis of these cues. Your mind must operate as one cohesive unit, blending rational analysis with instinctive understanding. Each decision, each interaction becomes an extension of your surveillance. Weak, reactive, and fragmented perception. Strong, unified, anticipatory, decisive. The goal is not paranoia, but mastery over your social environment, perceiving every potential hazard before it gains traction. Predator's patience is your ally. Do not expend energy on illusions or trivial provocations. Every action is deliberate. Every pause a calculation. Resist the temptation to react to perceived slights or minor betrayals. Patience allows your adversaries to reveal themselves fully, often by their own missteps. In a corporate scenario, a colleague attempted to subtly undermine a project by withholding information. Instead of confrontation, you maintained composure, observed patterns, and anticipated their next move. By the time you acted, the threat had neutralized itself, and your authority remained intact. Weak, impulsive retaliation. Strong, strategic observation and measured intervention. Silent domination emerges when influence is exerted without visible effort. Your presence alone signals competence and command. Actions outweigh words. Consistency, poise, and strategic positioning project authority that is palpable yet unobtrusive. Control is asserted not by loud declaration but by the unspoken understanding that attempts to subvert your power will fail. Build networks subtly, extend influence methodically, and let loyalty coalesce around demonstrated strength. Fake friends and opportunists recognize futility before taking action, leaving your position uncontested and secure. Command your environment through this integrated approach. Awareness ensures you detect threats, patience guarantees precision, and silent influence establishes dominance. Every movement is deliberate, every observation purposeful, every intervention calculated. You are no longer merely defending power. You are shaping the ecosystem, guiding allies, generalizing deception, and consolidating authority with effortless precision. In this state, betrayal becomes inconsequential, loyalty becomes tangible, and your domain unassailable. See all, act once. Command without question. Your power begins and ends with yourself. Commanding your own mind is the first and most decisive move on the chessboard of human interaction. Daily vigilance sharpens perception. Every observation becomes a reconnaissance tool, every hesitation a potential vulnerability. Train yourself to notice micro-expressions, subtle shifts in tone, and patterns of inconsistency. Fake friends often reveal their intentions not in dramatic moments, but in the quiet intervals between actions. Recognize these signals before they metastasize into threats. Power through silence is your weapon. Speak with intention, act with precision, and let your presence communicate authority without overt declaration. Words can mislead, provoke, or invite scrutiny. Actions signal competence, resolve, and dominance. Observe how colleagues respond to both your successes and their own setbacks. Silent restraint conveys strength, measured reactions, discourage deception, and opportunism. In a team disagreement, remain composed, redirect focus to objectives, and allow actions to demonstrate your leadership. Weak, impulsive explanations, strong, calm execution, and unspoken command. Mastery emerges when you internalize these disciplines into an unshakable rhythm of behavior. Boundaries become instinctive, awareness continuous, and intuition calibrated. You develop the ability to anticipate deceit, deflect manipulation, and preserve your sphere of influence without confrontation. Your daily rituals of attention and reflection are shields, your decisions deliberate strikes. Each choice aligns with the principle that ultimate sovereignty is internal. External chaos cannot penetrate disciplined perception. Let this mantra guide every move. I see what others hide. I remain untouchable. Repeat it in moments of uncertainty. Let it reinforce vigilance, remind you that silence is power, and anchor your presence as a sovereign within your circle. By commanding yourself first, you command the reactions, intentions, and alignments of those around you. Personal sovereignty is not aggression, it is clarity, patience, and disciplined observation that renders betrayal impotent.